Alright, so I've been driving this car around to work and whatever, and it's getting like dangerously close to overheating. It gets over into the red, I'll show you guys later, but it gets to the red, and like then the fan turns on, and then it cools off, and it's this constant battle of it goes into the hot, and then it cools down to operating temperature and keeps going up and like that. So I know the problem is the fan is turning on way too late. I don't know if it's computer just messed up or that's how it is factory, but I doubt it. Or maybe there's some bad wiring, whatever. We'll check out the wiring, but most likely we're gonna wire it up to a switch today. Gotta get my giant jacks thingy and lift up the hood. Now that I'm thinking about it, it would have been a whole lot smarter to pull the car in forward so the light from the garage is actually visible in the engine bay. Oh well. Okay, so quick update on what's happened since I've last talked about this car. I pulled the car out to the garage, wouldn't start, or it started and then it stalled and wouldn't start again. Found out it was out of gas, but while I was looking under the engine bay, I touched all the spark plug wires. The spark plug wire for this first one, I think it's number 1, was out, so it was misfiring. I didn't know that, but that's my unexperienced ear. So I plugged that in, we're good now, no misfire, filled it up with gas, we're good. I took out the fuel pump and the center unit, so I adjusted everything so the gas gauge is working right now. Hopefully it continues working. It's been about 4 days, it's still working, so that's good. I drained what was left of this distilled water mix inside the cooling system. I filled it up with a gallon of 50/50 antifreeze mix, and then I used a little more distilled water to top it off. This time I topped off the overflow tank because I never did that before. Just that could have been a reason why it was overheating, but I went for a drive, still overheated. And now here we are dealing with that wiring. Now when I got this car, the wiring for the fan was cut. All I did was just wrap the wires together, so it could just be my terrible ghetto wiring job. So I'm gonna undo that harness and just look at the wires. Now in order to make the wiring more accessible, I'm gonna take out the intake tube. Okay, so intake tube's out. I peeled back this, it's like a harness protector, I guess. But here's the wiring, and you can see this is where I wrapped them together and then I put electrical tape over. I'm gonna undo the electrical tape and see how it looks. Alright, so they're still looped together. So I mean the connection's solid. It's not solder or anything, but I mean it's solid. And it should have been enough. Like, my thought was maybe it was just bad wiring, sometimes getting loose, sometimes wasn't connecting enough for it to turn on soon enough or to carry enough current or whatever, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So let's work on wiring this up to a switch. Alright, so my plan is to hook it up to a switch, and I was gonna use the rear defroster switch here. But as I was using my multimeter to find out like which wire I need to tap into that gets power when the switch is turned on, and as I was looking up schematics and just different forums, I found out that it shuts off after a couple minutes. So I mean that's not really what I'm going for. Plus I couldn't find a good wire to go into, so I think I came up with a better idea to tap into the fog light switch. Now the fog lights on here, they're busted, the wires are cut, they don't even work. So I think a radiator fan hook up to this will be just fine. Now I'm almost confident that yellow and green is the power wires. Everything else is just relay stuff, ground, signal, whatever. So I'm gonna go double check that, make sure I know what wire I'm gonna tap into, and then we're gonna start extending wire to tap into. Alright, so this is what it looks like now. So the wires are just wrapped together. The power wire from the radiator fan I connected with this red wire. And then it's going into the yellow coming out of the fog light switch. So when I turn on the headlights and I turn this on, and the fan works. Perfect. Okay, but the fan only works with the headlights on. Not a big deal. The fog lights would be the same way. Fog lights only go on when the headlights on. Alright, so it only works when the headlights are on. I can turn the parking lights on and then it will still work, which I'll probably be running most of the time, just parking lights so I can run the fan. So I'm gonna save the cleaning up of the wiring for a different time because it's kind of late and I work a full day tomorrow. So I'll get back to you guys when I can tidy up the wire. Alright, so I cleaned up a lot of the connections. I ran the original wires where the connection is back into this factory harness. I'm gonna run it along the fender. I'll tuck it closer so you won't even be able to see the wire from this angle. And I'll just hug it around here. Now, the only thing that I'm not too thorough about is you're gonna see the wire when you open the door coming through here, and I'm gonna tuck it into the fuse box, so you'll see something like that. But I mean, whatever. I'll live with it. And then I have it like a Y connector, so it's just splicing into the yellow. Yellow is actually the only, well, yellow and the green is positive coming off of this fog light switch, but the yellow one taps into some relays and fuses, so I spliced it so it could be safe. So if I go over current or whatever, I can just blow a relay or a fuse, whatever, in that line instead of having to run my own homemade fuse. So I'm just gonna start working on putting together the dash, and I'll show you the final product. Alright, so here's the final product. It's still dark, so it's hard to see. In the morning I'll get you guys a better shot, but basically can't really see anything. You see the red positive wire. I looped it around the thing for the hood release. I got it going around the fender into here with black electrical tape around the wire that you would see, just so it doesn't stick out so bad. And then everything else is OEM. Alright, it's morning now, and this is what it looks like. So all the wires are down here. You can see the red wire along the hood release, inside the fender. I'll open the door. And then you can't really see it, but that's the point. It's all wrapped in black electrical tape under the fuse box. And pretty OEM. I'm gonna go for a drive, make sure it works, and my overheating problem is fixed. It's working. Alright, so I made it back to my house. Now, the gas gauge, I guess it went down a little bit, but I'm really concerned that it's not working anymore. So I have no idea why. But my only concern with the fan is in traffic or just sitting, it kind of gets kind of cold. See, right now it's at about 210, and it will get to like 195. About 195 is where the thermostat's actually 180, so it sits about a quarter, which I guess is fine because the thermostat's open, no problem. But either way, I'd rather have it be a little on the cold side than on the hot side. And that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.